The following video is about malware and virus installs that try to be almost dumb and it ends up being kind of clever. Now, typing in Rust Legacy in quotes, then hit space, and then after colon, then 2026-06-26. And instead of getting videos, what YouTube is giving me is not on topic, which is the first defect YouTube caused, and it's ignoring the fact that it says Rust Legacy in quotes, because if it can't find something, YouTube will just spit something up on the screen to prove that the website is somehow still giving you something, instead of saying no results found. Now remember, when it's in YouTube's best interest to lie about something being there and saying it isn't, they lie about things all the time. If you look up anybody complaining about the behavior of YouTube or Google or their parent company Alphabet, you'll find things saying there is no such thing as this, even if I make a video on the subject specifically because I find that. So this is an example of a search engine, because YouTube ultimately at this point is acting as a search engine, lying. Now, I want to point out that I'm looking this up and you might see the blank screen here. I have it configured not to show me the thumbnail for playlists, not because I was trying to do that, but because YouTube and Google, and therefore Alphabet, decided to tie that function to something completely unrelated that people were trying to get rid of. The idea is to sabotage your experience using YouTube if you try to prevent them from sabotaging your results. Namely, me turning off the thumbnails for all of their shorts. Now, we're going to look at this. You might have noticed that the first one here will say 6 seconds, and it's open this video and comments. That's the payload. And I'm treating it that way. Now, we go all the way to the bottom. It's the same one. It's a specific video. It's on a specific channel, and it gets altered by changing its content. The playlists are almost all identical, but not quite. So let's look at one of them that says Rust Crack 2027, which I'm not looking up. Again, I'm just looking up Rust Legacy, looking for any content. And here we can see how it technically wasn't lying about this being Rust Legacy based, because 10 years ago, someone put in a video barely associated. I'm trying to find things recently, and again, because Google, YouTube, and Alphabet decided to remove the sort by upload date button, because that took away control over what they forced us to look at, we don't have that search function. And again, I get playlists. All of these are obviously designed to attract the attention of someone looking up a 2027 era Rust crack. The first video here says open this video and comments, and it goes to Rjaea's 8. This is a playlist by Camilio Doink. So we're going to do Camilio Doink, and it has a video on it, so it shows up as a legit YouTube channel, and it has playlists, and that was a playlist uploaded by them. And as you can see, it has the word crack over and over again. I don't even have to describe. You already know what's going on. And we hit more. We see that it was put up in 2021 as a YouTube channel. It has 1 subscriber, 1 video, and as long as you have a subscriber, a video, putting up playlists, even if they contain this sort of thing, isn't going to cause a problem. These are channels that are set up, made to look legit for a few months, and then sold on the open market as, quote, clean accounts. If somebody has to point out that a social media account's clean, it's probably a bad sign. But anyway, here we are. And the playlist is listed as Rust Crack, blah, 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 unattended Rust Patch, Enterprise, and Bug Fix. Now, if you're not aware of it, if you change out the word Rust for Windows, it would read Windows Crack some year, unattended Windows Patch, Enterprise, and Bug Fix. That was a popular thing to look up, apparently. And what they do is they change everything but the first video here for something that's on topic for whatever. It would have been videos about Windows. This was edited a while ago, and if you hit the More button here, does it tell you when this was first built, this playlist? No. They used to, but they don't. It also says full activated version, serial key license, and then a bunch of hashtags. And what's trending recently is people looking up how to crack current version of Rust. but they threw a Rust Legacy video in the list. And again, the channel is nothing but this sort of crap. And all of them, or most of them, will lead to a first video. So let's look at this open this video and comments video. And in here, it's got nothing to do with it. It's totally off topic, which is not against the rules. And instead of being 6 seconds long, this is 2 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm not even sure how it's doing that, but it obviously is. It's supposed to be a 6 second long video. And when we look down here, we get this link set that says hello, and it's pinned, and we're supposed to go to a posting that ends in 9ZJ. So let's look at that one here. And also, if you're not aware of it, this is a posting by Rjaea 8. And we go here, there's Rjaea 8, 2007, long-time channel, has one video. There's nothing else on the channel. It's just a video that keeps getting edited with whatever's in the comment section, which can be altered all the time. There does not appear to be a description file of any kind. And that's it. This was put up in 2008. It's an old video. Hasn't been flagged for anything. I don't even know if it has downvotes at this point. I don't really think it matters. But let's go to the post. It links to a paste bin, raw number, code, blah, 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 for macOS. And this one's for Windows. Now, the Windows one doesn't open. It's blank. And it says, not working a day ago, and what's the problem, by John Dion and blah, 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 who decided to post this. Or Johnny Diop. So, when we look at Johnny Diop, again, we got this here. This is the only activity on their channel, is posting this sort of stuff and then editing it. All of these are edited. So every few days, this gets changed to something else. Now we're going to go to the next layer. Here's the paste bin. The paste bin is for macOS, so it's going to use Unix and Linux-like communication. The first command is, or the first state in here, is setup wizard, and then this string of code here to go to appdistribution.net setup, and then an echo within it, and then a string of code, and then it goes xxd, rp, and then bash, which indicates that we're using the bash prompt. Basically, this builds a set of commands or instructions that are then dumped to a command prompt inside of macOS. And again, it says link for command for macOS. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you not to do it. But let's look at how it happens if we look up the install app distribution net setup. The first thing that comes up when we look it up is malicious skill report, deep research, Claw Havoc campaign from this year. And it has ampersand, ampersand, echo. When we look here, it's the same thing. Claw Hub and Claw Havoc are mentioned, along with strings of code that are all over the place. So let's look at the first iteration of it that we can find, just talking about setup wizard and install app distribution net setup. And it talks about it being this here being encoded. This example said Base64 bash, and the one we're dealing with says XXD bash. Now, if you run it through 64-bit conversion, it turns it into bin bash -c, and then a curl instruction to go to that web page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this here and run it through an XXD decoder, I'm going to call it. And then you find out that just means hex to text. So I go to hex to text and cut and paste the string here that starts with 2F and ends with 922. I put it in here, and it gives us this, bin bash C, and another curl instruction that goes to this page. Then when I open it, it gives us more curl script and instructions and another IP address as another linkage. And this can go on for hundreds and hundreds of layers, eventually ending up not working. I'm just going to pop this in here and see what happens. It should complain. I'm going to say proceed anyway, because my computer doesn't have the ability, at least right now, of installing anything. But it's a malicious URL. It's on the block list. It's an IP address. When I hit proceed, it says, would you like to save this octet stream and save it? I'm going to hit cancel. For all I know, my machine's been infected. So that gives you an idea what happens when you're just trying to type in Rust legacy like me, and you end up finding Rust crack statements, and it says open this video in comments, and you end up with a malware installer hidden in a comment here that'll disappear in a few days because the person will simply edit it rather than erase it. And of course, this says this is coming from at somebody, and it's pinned by thease, and apparently this is the user that posted it and edits it. So let's open that up. I didn't pay attention to that, sorry. And when we get here, we find this channel, and we hit more, and we find out it's a 2026 June, very recent, that posts a comment here, and this channel then cooperatively pins it so that that pinned comment can lead to, again, this post that leads to from this guy here, that leads to this paste bin that does all of these stages, that comes to this, and then does this. What's Claw Hub? Fast skill registry for agents with vector search. Claw Hub AI. Open Claw Hub. Skill. Skills are what you're calling these commands and instructions. It's supposed to run through an AI utility, but what it really does is something else. And as mentioned over here, malicious skill report. Now, I want to point out something here. Calling your product Claw Hub and calling a set of commands or macros, or scripts or whatever, a skill, or giving them any other special language translation for, this is a set of instructions that tells something to do something. Whenever you come up with these nouveau riche bullshit terms for things, you make it harder for us to look up things. Stop doing that. Just really make yourself stop doing it. Are you a programmer? Are you trying to do something where you're trying to give something a new and exciting name or something so you don't have to say it's a fucking script or it's a fucking program? Okay, I want you to walk over to the mirror and yell loudly, "You're an idiot," at yourself. Anyway, let's go here. Threat intelligence. Analysis of Claw Hub malicious skill poisoning or skills poisoning. And over here, when we look up Claw Havoc, securing OpenClaw against Claw Havoc. And this was mentioned February. And 3 days ago. I didn't type a time range. It's like, okay, well, what do you got here? Claw Havoc, malicious clawed skills. Claw Havoc poisons OpenClaw Claw Hub with... You get the idea? And I want to point out something here. A lot of these are on like LinkedIn or maybe on some other websites where you suddenly have to go to the page and sign up to view things. If you want people to know that there's problems like this, don't put it on fucking LinkedIn. Put it on YouTube like me. Put it on a place where we'd get it. Add Claw Havoc AI supply chain attack to notable incidents, blah, 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 blah. GitHub. Contribute to Trail of Bits, awesome ML security, blah, blah, blah. So the keywords to look up are Claw Havoc, skills, Claw Hub, and at that point, learn how to decode things. And all this is because I was trying to look up anybody doing Rust Legacy uploads on YouTube, so I guess I better do some because there aren't any to date. But there are sure a bunch of playlists that the first video points you basically stuffing your head into a cannon that's loaded with a lot of propellant. Just want to point that out. So yeah, if you want to learn what it's like to, if you want to feel the cyber equivalent to getting a face full of Vlktj in reality, here you go. So I just wanted to point out that's what I learned about today, and I get to look up Claw Havoc, and so did you. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll need it. We all will. Bye.